Hello, you are listening to the OmniTalk Fast Five, brought to you in partnership with the A&M Consumer and Retail Group, Firework, SPS Commerce, and Sezzle.
The two. All right. Headline number 4. According to Retail Dive, the head of American Eagle's Quiet Platforms has stepped down as the apparel retailer prepares to slash expenses after the logistics unit failed to meet expectations. American Eagle has parted ways with our buddy and former Target colleague Shekhar Natarajan, quote, effective immediately. Niall Murphy, who became the logistics unit's chief business officer last year, is set to take over on an interim basis. In a Q4 earnings call, American Eagle Chief Operating Officer Michael Rempel, shout out for the second week in a row, Michael, said that while Quiet Platforms grew nearly 40%, it did so at margins that were, quote, below what we expected. And this is an absolutely stellar time to give you the put you on the spot question this week. Are you ready for it?
I'm ready.
Yeah, this is a great question.
Yeah.
Quote, when American Eagle Outfitters purchased Quiet Logistics back in 2021, one of its goals was to combine and manage the order volume of multiple retailers, i.e. their competitors, to try and take advantages of economies of scale. Does this key departure mark the end of American Eagle trying to accomplish that goal, and or, this is my favorite part, and or should it mark the end?
I don't think that it's the end.
Oh, really?
No, I think that what is happening is that American Eagle and Quiet Logistics are seeing that it's probably not going to be as easy. Not that they thought it was easy, but people aren't ready. You're talking about mall retailers to get economies of scale, right? And you're talking about lots of legacy retailers. And I think it just is going to take, I think they might be a little bit before their time. And I think they're starting to realize that. So I don't think this is like a complete shutdown of that capability, but I do think it involves some important either partnerships or rethinking around how they're going to make this work for a very legacy old school retailer. I also think that there's likely more, because of these legacy retailers that they're working with, there's probably likely some more hurdles that they need to get over in terms of competitive, like what do you say? Like collaboration is the new competition. I think people like to talk about that, but I think when it gets down to brass tacks, like I don't think that you have retailers that are like, I'm going to give American Eagle, like Gap, I'm going to give American Eagle or Lucky Brand or whatever. Like we are competing for the direct same customers. Like, why am I going to go with you versus just a white label 3?
You don't want to share your holiday throughput at the facility with a competing brand, right?
Yeah. So I think that there's still some time that needs to be given to this, though, because they only purchased Quiet Logistics in the end of 2021.
Right.
It hasn't even been 2 years yet. And I think you need to give this a little bit more runway than they did for this to actually work. Like, so I don't know. I think there's some problems all around here, but it seems like too short to like cut this off right away. And without giving some like time for tweaks.
Interesting.
What do you think? You're looking at me like I have 3 heads.
I am. Yeah, no, because I think I had like this epiphany as you were talking. Like, I think it's probably done. And the reason I say that is actually the statistic that I didn't think about until you just started talking about that. 40% growth is not big when it just started. Like you should be seeing triple digit growth at higher levels. So like that means, to your point, they're not selling this to anybody really either. And they're not selling it to anybody properly, which he stated specifically. So that makes me think, what do we have here? And so when I step back from it, I'm kind of sad because I initially, and we talked a lot about this, we talked to Shekhar at Manifest. I thought there was a there. I really did. But the there can't just be a 3PL of a different color, which is, as we were listening to Shekhar at that conference, it sounded more and more like, and we were talking about this, it sounded more and more like that's what it was. It's just a 3PL of a different color. The there that is there for me is figuring out how to make this happen at the mall level, particularly for localized, close to consumer fulfillment, like we talked about with Domatix Kim Baudry, you know, like that's the idea here. But sadly, I think to your point, which I would reemphasize, I don't think that dream is ever going to happen because it's just too damn capital expensive for the mall operators to redo their buildings in that manner. And then number 2, you still have to get all the retailers bought in, like you said, which is still a massive hurdle. So it does make me wonder, in light of Gap, you know, shutting down its retail media network, if we're not going to see similar shutdowns of ideas like this. Like people are running after this, but at the end of the day, what's the real point of differentiation against a traditional 3PL that's done this for decades?
Right.
And if you don't have that, I don't see why it works. So I'm actually decidedly glass half empty on this announcement. Net. What do you think, though? Are
I mean,
you changing your
I think
tune?
I just drank Shekar's Kool-Aid.
Yeah.
And I always will. He's like the
I mean,
best.
he's so
hype man
charismatic, but you got to
ever.
watch that
Yeah,
too, you know.
true,
But I don't know. But
true.
who knows? You know, love the guy, but you know, maybe there's, I don't know.
I just think it's before it's time. I
You
do
think it's
think
before
we'll
it's
see.
time?
I think it's too
All right.
early. I
All
think that's what the issue is.
All right.